The draft is here, boys. The draft is here, and I'm not talking about a breeze. I'm talking about the NHL draft. I'm hot as fuck wearing this right now, but you know what? We gotta keep the vibe of the video. So if I die from a heat stroke, you gotta do what you gotta do. But Kyle Davidson gained a little bit of trust from me yesterday when he traded for Nick Foligno and Taylor Hall. Good veteran presence from Foligno. Good veteran presence from Taylor Hall. Add some offense to the team. Put him with Connor Bedard. I'm starting to like this team that's being formed. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking, Lucas Reichel is going to be up for the whole season next year, most likely. My boy Lucas Rachel. Rochelle, Ray. That's my girl right there, Ray. You're going to have Ray with Taylor Hall, with Tay. Ray and Tay. That's going to be a good little duo right there. And then you're going to have Connor Bedard in there as McCon. I don't know. He doesn't work. He kind of killed that. But either way, Con, Tay, and Ray all together, it's going to be wild, and we don't know what else they're going to do in the draft, and we don't know what else they're going to do in free agency. It's going to be very, very interesting. The Blackhawks own the first pick and the 19th pick in the NHL draft tomorrow. I think we know what they're doing at number one, and if they don't do that, that's going to be a story in itself. We're going to have to deal with that mess if it happens, but let's say it happens, right? Connor Bedard to the Blackhawks. Let's say it's a lock, even though it most likely is, but let's for sure say it's a lock. Connor Bedard goes number one. Then what do you do? If you're Kyle Davidson, are you thinking, hey, man, maybe we could trade up a little bit? Maybe we could try to get like the 7th pick from Philly, the 6th pick from Arizona, maybe the 5th pick from Montreal. We have assets. And what I mean by assets is we have draft capital. We have Tampa Bay's first rounder the next 2 years, this year and next year. We have 4 second-round picks. Do we find a way to package all this stuff together? Not all of it, but package a lot of this stuff together and try to give it to Montreal and go with that boy Will Smith? Do we go and do we try to take a slap at Will Smith? Sorry. That didn't work, though, because it was him giving the slap, not taking it, so it didn't really work anyway. It was bad. That was very bad. But do we go after Will Smith? Do we try to go after, a guy like, a Leo Carlson if he somehow slips? And Adam Van Tilly, I think, is a lock at number 2. Or do we keep this 19th pick? And do we go with a guy, probably one of the most polarizing players in the draft? Kind of reminds me of Fabian Lysell a few years ago with the Boston Bruins, right? If he's still on the board at 19, do we go with Andrew Crystal Meth? That is a very interesting pick. This is a guy that what did he have? 39 goals, 56 assists last year in the WHL. He had 69 points the year before. This is a dude that is very polarizing. He is. So that's where I'd like to see the Blackhawks go. Take a risk. Try to bring in someone that can really, him and Connor Bedard together might be pretty crazy depending on how he develops. But do the Hawks go that way? Do they go defenseman? We need defensemen. Seth Jones, sorry, dog, but you're not getting it done. But you also need some help. We need help on defense. Do we go that way? Do we go offense? Do we go defense? I don't know what we do. But that's really, really interesting. I would say if Andrew Crystal is there at 19, you got to take him. You can't just not take him. You have to take him. You have 4 second-round picks. You have to hit one of them. 25% chance. You're not hitting on all these second-round picks. Everyone knows that. But you got to get 25%. Your teacher asks you, hey, get 25% on this test. Dog, you can get 25% on that test. Just write your damn name down on the paper. The Hawks got to write their name down on the paper. Just come on, just write your name. Just write your name. That's all. You got the 35th pick. You got the 44th pick. You got the 51st and the 55th. Write your name down on one. Just write your name down on one and let's get this 25% and let's go. Or you package them together again, like I said, and you try to move up in the draft. You could do that as well. So it's really interesting the different routes the Blackhawks could take. But all honesty, the biggest thing that I want to see is I want to see Andrew Crystal with Connor Bedard. What I really want to see is you package a lot of stuff together and you get Connor Bedard number 1 and you try to move up to number 5 and you get Will Smith as well. You mix Will Smith with Connor Bedard. That would be wild. But I'm looking at some of these other teams that like probably aren't. Okay, there's only one team in the top 10 that's like really not rebuilding, and that's the Washington Capitals. This is a team that it's like, okay, Ovi's 40. He's practically a senior citizen in a lot of other countries. You know, we would be putting him in a nursing home if this was like Venezuela or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, he would be considered going into a nursing home. He's 40 years old. He's old. He's still absolutely incredible. Even with the gray hair, he's a sexy grandpa, dude. He's a straight up gilf, baby. But even with all that, though, so the Capitals are not rebuilding. They're trying to run it back again. Very disappointing season. They want to run it back again. Let them run it back. Trade this 8th pick. Bring in a star player. The only thing with the Blackhawks is like we don't have talented guys that are ready to win now in order to give you. That's why that wouldn't work, because if they're looking for a guy to win now with the 8th pick, we don't have anybody like that unless you want Seth and you want to take his money on, which I know you don't want to do that. Y'all don't want Seth, and I understand that. There's no one else that we have. So that wouldn't work unless they found a way to work something out, but I just don't think that's going to work. I just don't think that's gonna work. But even just like going away from the Blackhawks for a second and just talking about a different team for a minute here, Washington is a very interesting team. A very interesting team to talk about what they're gonna do, because, you know, whoever they draft with this 8th pick, they're not gonna be ready right away. They are not gonna be ready right away. So I have a feeling they are going to trade this pick. They're going to bring in a player with that. They're going to bring in a player to put along with Ovechkin to try to run it back one more time. So I think that's going to be really interesting. I'm interested in Washington. I'm interested to see what Philadelphia does. This is a team that they just a trade got botched between them and somebody else. I forgot. Yeah, actually, let me research it real quick. Okay, Flyers trade. Oh, I spelled that totally wrong. The Blues. Yeah, dude. It's in limbo right now. Okay, so this trade is in limbo for Kevin Hayes. Okay, so it might go down still. Okay, it might go down. Okay. You know, so that's interesting too. You know, I look at that. You know. Oh, no, it's official, dude. Oh, no, it's official. Yeah, well, I don't know if it's hockey rumors, man. I don't trust that. I need ESPN. I need that real news. Don't give me that fake news. Oh, here we go, Yahoo. All right. For what? Cause y'all not saying what they got for him. Oh my. For a 2024 sixth round pick? I mean, you shed some money, but what was the point of that? Just to get him out of there? And they retained 50%. That was 100% of a move of like, we respect you. We're going to put you on a different team. But why to St. Louis? Because the original deal was supposed to bring Torrey Krug back to the Flyers. That didn't happen. How does it go from Torrey Krug coming back to a 6th round pick? That's a classic Flyers move right there. Classic Flyers move. You end up originally bringing in a decent guy, and then you end up just with a 6th round pick. And you could have flipped more dudes. You could have cleared up more of a roster spot for other guys, and it didn't work out. But I think Krug, like, something with his no trade clause, he kind of like fucked the whole thing up. Yeah, dude. So the Flyers really interest me with that. But figures, man, that they couldn't bring in Torrey Krug. But you know what, man? Yeah, so I'm really interested because they're in such a weird spot with so many players. They're players that are making so much money, but they're not the best players either. It's really interesting. They don't have much there. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams I'm interested. I mean, what's Erik Karlsson? What's going to happen with Erik Karlsson? You know, are the Sharks going to be able to get another pick in the first round? You know, they could potentially have, what would that be, 3? That would be 3 first-round picks for the San Jose Sharks if they could get another one for Erik Karlsson. That would be the type of trade that I could see Washington doing. Washington giving up their 8th pick, bringing in Erik Karlsson. Maybe they also need somebody else to come with to make that really work, because I don't think Erik Karlsson's worth the 8th overall pick. Tomas Hertl, Kevin LeBanc. You know, I mean, again, it's not going to be great players, but a decent guy to throw in. With Karlsson, you get that 8th pick. Sharks are rebuilding anyway. That's something that I see Washington doing. Something like that. Really interesting. For the Blackhawks, though, just to go back over what I want to see, Connor Bedard, Andrew Crystalmeth, and then, hey, hit one of those second-round picks. That would be okay. Or you package the 19th pick with your seconds and next year's first from Tampa or something, and you try to move up, and you try to get Will Smith or one of these other guys in the early first round. But we'll see. I have a feeling that's not going to happen. They're going to just stay on the board. If they make a trade, it's going to be some little trades or something like that. They're not going to go wild, but I could see them doing something. So we'll see what happens, though. Let's go Hawks, baby. Let's get Connor Bedard. Watch him get selected and he walks up the stage and trips and dies. If we pick him and he walks down the path and he goes up the stage, he trips and then he breaks his leg, he tears his ACL, his whole leg comes off. I gotta find a new team if that happens. Like, that's just ridiculous. But we'll see what happens, though. This has been Book Smart, and I'll talk to you guys later.